What if I told you she can control your decisions without saying a single word? You think you're in control, but you're already playing her game. The same psychology that makes you fall for subtle relationship traps is the exact same psychology fueling climate anxiety worldwide. Your emotions aren't random. They're engineered by invisible psychological levers. And today, we're going to expose them. Once you see these 12 patterns, you'll never unsee them. This isn't about blaming anyone. It's about understanding the deep, often unconscious psychological dynamics at play. We're talking about something called frame control. Every smile, every pause, every silence, it's all part of the frame. It's the unspoken context that dictates the rules of an interaction. And most men lose frame in under 3 seconds without even knowing it. Frame control is the art of getting someone to see the world from your perspective, to operate within your reality. In relationships, this can be subtle. It can feel like you're always the one apologizing, always the one trying to fix things, always on the defensive. You're being pulled into her frame without realizing it. It's not magic, it's psychology in action. By understanding how this works, you can learn to spot the signs, protect your mindset, and take back control. So, let's get into the 12 sneaky psychological patterns women use, often without you or even them noticing. First up, the silent treatment. This isn't just about ignoring you. It's a power move that creates a vacuum of information. Your brain hates uncertainty, so you rush to fill the silence. Often with apologies or concessions just to restore communication. You're essentially negotiating against yourself. Number 2 is the guilt trip. This classic tactic frames your reasonable desires or boundaries as selfish acts. A simple phrase like, "It's fine, I'll just stay home alone then," can make you feel responsible for her happiness, pushing you to abandon your own plans. Third, the strategic incompetence. Ever heard "I'm just not good at things like that"? Sometimes it's true, but other times it's a way to offload responsibility. By playing the damsel in distress, she encourages you to step in and handle tasks, setting a precedent for the future. Number 4, the test. She might create a small, seemingly insignificant problem just to see how you'll react. Will you get flustered? Will you solve it calmly? Your response is being evaluated, setting the tone for how she perceives your strength and reliability. Fifth is the social proof. She mentioned how her ex, her father, or other guys would do something. This isn't just a comparison. It's a psychological tool to make you compete against an invisible standard, pushing you to prove your worth on her terms. Number 6, the withholding of affection. Suddenly, the hugs and compliments stop. This creates a sense of scarcity. You start to wonder what you did wrong and work harder to earn back that affection, giving her control over your emotional state. 7th on our list is the leading question. Questions like, "You don't really want to go out with your friends tonight, do you?" aren't genuine inquiries. They're designed to corner you into giving the correct answer, making it seem like it was your idea all along. Number 8 is the mirroring flip. At the start, she mirrored your interests and values to build rapport. Later, she might flip the script, subtly disapproving of those same things. This creates confusion and makes you question yourself, trying to get back to that initial harmony. Number 9, the emotional anchor. This is when a specific song, place, or phrase is tied to a powerful, positive memory. Later, that same anchor can be used to evoke those feelings and influence your mood or decisions, almost like a shortcut to your emotional core. 10th, we have the delayed response. You send a text and she waits hours to reply, but you can see she's been online. This creates a power imbalance. It suggests her time is more valuable than yours and leaves you waiting, anxious for her validation. Number 11 is the public frame. In front of friends or family, she might tell a slightly embarrassing story about you, framed as a cute joke. But what it really does is establish her as the dominant one in the social dynamic, putting you in a subordinate, good-humored role. And finally, number 12, the future projection. She talks about our future, painting a beautiful picture of what's to come. This makes it harder for you to address present-day problems, because you don't want to jeopardize that wonderful fantasy she's built in your mind. Now wait, I've seen this before. That feeling of recognition is key. But here's the twist that changes everything. The same brain circuits that make you anxious about a delayed text message are the ones that make you vulnerable to climate anxiety. What do I mean? The psychological mechanisms are identical. The silent treatment from a partner feels like the silence from world leaders on climate action, a vacuum of uncertainty that makes you feel powerless. The guilt trip for wanting a night with friends is the same as the media framing your personal carbon footprint as the sole problem, distracting you from larger systemic issues. It's all about frame control. Climate anxiety is now so widespread that 59% of young people say they feel doomed about the future. They feel a constant, low-grade sense of dread, helplessness, and grief. This isn't an overreaction. It's a logical, emotional response to a perceived threat, amplified by the same psychological triggers. News clips of floods and wildfires act as emotional anchors, tying images of disaster to your sense of future security. Social proof in the form of millions protesting makes you feel like your individual actions are insignificant. It's the biggest frame control game in the world, and it's taking a toll on our collective mental health. Let's look at a couple of scenarios. Imagine you try to set a boundary with your partner, saying you need some space. She replies, "So, you're just going to abandon me when I need you?" That's a guilt trip. Framing your need for space as an act of abandonment, you feel a pang of guilt and give in. Now, picture this. You read an article about reducing plastic use. The next day, you see a report on massive industrial pollution. You feel hopeless, thinking, what's the point of my little effort? That's strategic incompetence on a global scale, making you feel small and powerless. The emotional result is the same. You're trapped in a frame that isn't yours. So, how do you break free? It starts with awareness. Recognize the tricks. The first step is to simply name the pattern. When you feel that pang of guilt, ask yourself, is this a guilt trip? When you feel anxious from a lack of communication, ask, is this the silent treatment? Simply identifying the tactic breaks its spell and gives you back your power. Next, hold your frame. This doesn't mean being aggressive or uncaring. It means staying centered in your own reality. If she says, you don't really want to go out, do you? A calm response is, I do, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you when I get back. You're not arguing, you're simply stating your reality without apology. In the face of climate anxiety, this means acknowledging the problem without letting it consume you. Focus on what you can control your local community, your personal skills, your own mental resilience. Finally, reclaim your emotional state. Your emotions are valid, but you don't have to be a slave to them. When you feel that anxiety creeping in, whether from a relationship game or a scary headline, take a breath. Remind yourself, my feelings are a response to a frame. I can choose to step outside of it. This is the ultimate act of self-empowerment. By understanding these psychological levers, you're no longer a puppet. You can protect your mind, navigate relationships with confidence, and face global challenges without falling into despair. If these 12 patterns shocked you, wait until you see the hidden tactics we'll cover in next part. There's one trick that's even more dangerous and subtle than all of these combined, and it's being used on you every single day. Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next.